Good morning, good morning. It is Motivation Station with Rose and Sanjay. Rose, good morning to you. Oh no, it froze from the beginning. This is a fantastic start here. I'm hoping it's not. Oh, I gotta adjust the music too. Let me see if she makes it back. Alright, so she lagged out, which is okay. Let's get her back before we continue the journey here. And it's crazy because we were actually just talking like right before the call and talking about things, and then it should have been here. Anyway, outside of waiting for her to come back, I hope everyone is doing well. Sorry, I actually forgot to announce that we're doing the show on a Sunday today. Rose had a arrangement that we had to kind of move around the time, so Sunday was going to be the better day to make it work. So we were like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll do it Sunday. But it was unfortunately on my end that I did not follow up with the timing to do all this. Do you hear me, Rose? Okay, I see you blinking, so that's a good sign. Okay, I'm hoping this was maybe just a one-off thing, right? And that it doesn't freeze
Good
again.
morning.
But if it continues to lag like this, I might jump off the Streamlabs thing. But anyway, good morning to you. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking.
Of course,
We
of
are
course.
here Sunday. Sunday
Yes.
fun day.
Sunday fun day indeed. Actually, Sundays in this household we call potato day. It's the one day that we don't do anything. We just kind of lounge around at the house.
Oh,
We all do our own thing. Like my kid watches TV, or she'll play like with like Switch and
oh,
stuff. My wife sits on her computer, plays her games. I sit on my computer. I do whatever with whoever's around. But it's since Sunday's the
okay.
one day that we like relax and enjoy ourselves. So I hope everyone has
Okay.
a good Sunday. And as I was saying before, I apologize that we're filming on Sunday. We just had to move around the schedule, and I need to just start announcing more when I'm going to be shooting my episode. Because Morgan messaged me yesterday, and she's like, "Did you guys not do your episode?" And I was like, "Oh crap, yeah, no, we moved to Sunday because the a schedule conflict." And she's like, "Oh, okay." So I don't know if she'll make it today, but she was like waiting for it for yesterday. But
It will be there waiting for you, Morgan, for you
exactly,
to
yeah, she can hop in and watch the episode after, so we
go.
should be okay. But anyway, what I meant to actually ask, because I'm curious, what's the weather like down there?
It have been raining,
It's been
raining,
raining.
raining, and raining. Of so much rain we have this year. I never seen it this of rain in a while.
Mm,
It's the thing is, it's like on and off rain every day. Like in the last 3 months, we've probably had a couple sunny days. It is sunny, but it's raining. It's like on and off. And um, a couple of days ago, because it's so much rain, the trees are soaking wet. The branches started snapping off from the trees, and one of the
damn.
branch fell down in our house.
It,
Luckily, it's a
mm,
3,000-pound branch fell down in our top of the house. Luckily, there was no roof damage,
yeah, no, that's good.
and it didn't collapse the house. 'Cause the day before that happened, I watched the news when the storm went through somewhere, I think in Texas, and people just lost the whole entire house, right? They were like
Mm,
outside, there's like no roof, no walls, no anything. I was like, wow. So I'm definitely hoping everyone's staying safe. It's a lot of rain around, a lot of storms, and and we that thing is heavy, 3,000 pounds
mm.
to fall on the house. It's hi Lily, pretty good. It's
She's
a
like
pretty
walking.
good moment.
Yeah, right now she's just walking around.
So Yeah.
Yeah, no,
So,
that's crazy because I was gonna say when like we had a few bad thunderstorms here too, and it was like I man, what was it last week? It was during the week. Yeah, yeah, it was like Wednesday, right? And it was like a really crazy thunderstorm because I was taking Lily to go to the library because like they have
mhm.
activities at the library, and it was crazy because like I went to the gym just prior to that. I saw it started getting cloudy. I started seeing it get windy, right? And I went to go pick up Lily from home. The second she hopped into my car, it started raining. So I got soaking wet. Yeah. And then like it was like high winds, like hard rain, like rain that it would hit you and it feels like it would hurt you, right? And it was raining like that for like 10 minutes because we got to the library and I told Lily because like I'm not that I don't really trust the anybody per se in this way, but like I didn't want to drop her off at the library door and just say, hey, wait for me here and let me park the car and I'll run to you, right? Because I don't it might be a few seconds, but listen, it takes just a few seconds for anything to happen, right? So I was like, all right, Lily,
Mm,
do you want to wait out the rain or do you want to run through it? She's like, let's just run through it. I was like, all right. So we get out the car and we run as fast as we can to the door and we get wet, right? Like I'm already sweating and now I'm soaking wet, so at least it looks like, I'm just wet from the rain. um and we get inside and like she gets in, she drives off with like a little paper towel stuff, and then she starts coloring and I don't hear rain anymore. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like it was literally raining in that time I traveled, but that rain did hit hard. And we've had some like heavy thunderstorms. I mean, lucky for us, I don't think the power ever went out, so we lucked out. But it's been weird, and the reason I was asking about the weather right now was even because of it is like I'm looking at the my Google right now and it's telling me it's 76 outside, which is like a nice fall day at this point outside instead of a summer day. So I was just curious to see if it's hot out there because I know my friends in California, it's hot out there. They're actually saying it was peaking like almost 100 degrees, and I was like, that's crazy. And then I have a friend in Canada as well, and they told me that it is hot up there as well. So I'm just like,
they had wildfires.
that too, yeah. And those fires came down to Jersey. I don't know if you heard or you talked to your friends here in Jersey, but there was like the air smelled like a barbecue, but not like a barbecue, if that makes sense. Like the air was very thick and hazy, and it had this scent.
Yeah.
And like I think we were traveling that day, and I told Christine, I was like, I don't think we should be out here. I think we should be going somewhere else. Like I think we should either
Yeah.
stay indoors or just not, whatever. And we knocked out whatever we knocked out, and we went from there. So that's that. But yeah, I was just curious, just checking that out.
Yeah,
Um,
it's 80, 86 sometimes, but it's been raining. It's been raining a lot, and it's still coming more. And even today was supposed to be clear, but
mm,
it's gonna rain again. We're trying to go on a boat, but we'll see what happens. Um, yes. So I decided to switch to not for getting away from the weather, but I decided to switch to macadamia nut milk. So I found it, so I trying to use it in my coffee. Um, I thought it's gonna be like more creamy. It's gonna change the color of my coffee. You know how you put the milk regular or half and half. You thinking it's gonna be the same, and my expectation
yeah, yeah. Oh,
what
yeah.
I'm in a very different. And now I'm trying to find ways. I don't have a steamer, but I have a frog that I can frap it. I
Yeah.
thought maybe it's going to make it more foamy, but it didn't do anything either. So if any of you baristas can give me ideas, I know
I can
steaming is
ask him.
better. It's
Yeah.
like a, cappuccino style, but I'm trying to switch from daily to plant-based. Mm.
Like, yeah, I can ask. I like I said, at my last job, I have a friend that was a barista, and
And
before I left,
macadamia nut is really good.
we exchanged Instagrams, so I can definitely message her and just be like, hey, do you have any idea how we can do this with like like macadamia uh nut milk or whatever, right? So I'll run it
Yes.
by them and I can let you know. Or yeah, I could do that. So anyway, so last week we were talking about it was entertaining last week because like we hit a point where we're getting to the tail end of the podcast, and then we had participation in the chat, so then we started talking a lot more. So we actually went on for like another 40 minutes on top of that. So last week was a very long and entertaining episode. And we were talking about at a middle point about appreciating life, right? And I was like, you know what, that would be perfect for next week's podcast, because there's a level of even talking about appreciating life is a long episode, right? So I definitely wanted to talk about it a little bit more in the sense of like, it's crazy how much you got to actually understand what that means, right? So appreciating life to me isn't just, I mean, there's a level to it. There isn't just going to your 9 to 5 job, making money, buying a house, buying a car, having a family, and living your life, right? Now I think in a sense that seems to be what the goal is, right? Like I think people are like, when you ask a lot of people what's the meaning of life, it's like I want to leave a family, but behind, to continue my legacy, or my offspring, so they continue going further and further. I'll become somebody's father, and then grandfather, and then great grandfather, and then we just remember stories about me and things like that. But more so than that, I think people do want to leave their mark in life as well, and it's entertaining to me to find out how people want to do that, right? So today is the day that I'm gonna get it done, right? But because I said it like 2 weeks ago, but I finally did my voiceover for my What Is Peace trailer that I want to do, and I just have to do one more filming and knock it out and get it done. But part of the
Okay.
conversations I'm gonna have there are about what we're gonna talk about here, and it's interesting to me because when I actually thought about it, I would say that like people think that when you become adult at 18, like you're not, like the age is of an adult, right? You're an adult now. You can make adult decisions. You can vote. You can go to war. You can become a part of the Navy. Whatever, right? But it's crazy because like for me, I don't feel like I became an adult until like my late 20s, until my like early 30s, when I started understanding like how life works in a sense, right? Because at first, my parents, like we're raised how we're taught, right? So like my parents were always like, you gotta work hard, you gotta make money, right? You gotta make money, you gotta not be, I'm hoping you use the word, you can't be frugal with your money, right? You can't just go be spending it whatever you want. But technically you can, but the thing is, like, you want to be smart with your money, so you don't not have money at the end of your age and end of your retirement, right? And even all that, like, I just never understood how that works in my brain. So obviously when you the older you get, and the much older you get, you don't really work anymore, right? You don't aim to work, you aim to just enjoy the rest of your time, to just like, hey, ride out your life until your last breath, right? You work your entire life, this is your break that you get. And I think I rode that wave for a very long time, that I wanted to at least get my life together, right? And then it wasn't until I had Lily that I was like, damn, I gotta work harder to make sure our life is together. Because I don't, there's so many cases in the world where like people struggle really hard. I'm blessed with the life I have, right? But people don't have this type of life. Some people are, it could be even like single parents raising their kids. Some people can be like orphans raising their kids. Like, it's just crazy. Some kids have to raise their own selves, like we live in a very crazy time. So like I look back and I'm like grateful for like my opportunity that allowed me to have the life that I did. But I know it was tough for me because I was always thinking like 10 steps ahead, like, yo, I need to make sure I get my life together. And this goes back to like my friend that passed away, and it hit me this week hard as hell, because we had his mass this past Friday, and I went quiet, right? So I have some friends that check in on me like quite often. They'll hit me throughout the day and they're just like, hey, I was just thinking about you, how's this going, how's that going? And I just didn't respond, and I kept to myself most of the day. There was like a planned hangout that I had, so I made sure I went there and I didn't show like any sort of emotion. I didn't show any sort of like, I've just kind of been through it, I'm just kind of like tired, right? But I hung out with my friends that I haven't hung out with in a long time, and it was nice. And but like every other part of the day, like I was just crying. I was just down, and it hit me because like my friend that passed away, right? He was my brother. I'm not gonna say friend. That man was my brother to me, and I was his game plan. He's like, I'm gonna work my ass off until I can retire, and then he died right before he retired, and that shit hurt, you know. And this only happened within the last few months, but the thing is like, so he understood that there was a point that I was stressed. And he's like, dude, you every week I see you, you're more and more stressed, right? It wasn't until I got this recent job when I was working in New York that I got laid off from. It was in the last few weeks before he passed that he had said to me, Sanjay, like, you look happy. And I was like, man, I finally got like a good job. I'm making good money. I'm able to get stuff for my friends and family. I can do so much more now. And then like piece by piece, everything fell off, right? So Friday hit me especially hard because I'm looking for work. I can't not work, but I'm looking for work. But all these jobs are like lowballing me. They're giving me like no money an hour, right, to do so much work or travel so far. I don't understand why these recruiters, they have my resume. They have my resume that has my address, right? And they're like, oh yeah, this is a 5-day on site position, perfect for you. It's in Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm like, do you know how far Ohio is from New Jersey? Like, do you guys ever look at a map and then decide like, hey, you can go to the office 5 days a week. How do you want me to go to the office 5 days a week in Ohio? Ohio is like an 8-hour drive. Like, I'm like, do you guys make sense of any of this? So like, I signed up for unemployment to get by because I got bills to pay, I got mouths to feed, right? And it just took so long for that to kick in. But I also had a good interview recently that I hope I get the job, but then like at least I'm not stressed about not getting it because like the pay is good, the travel is good, and all that stuff. And I do hope it works out. But in a sense, it's kind of like everyone told me like when I got laid off to spend time with myself. Everyone told me to just take time to spend time with your family, enjoy your time off, right? And there hasn't been a single day I've enjoyed. Not one day that I've enjoyed. And I'm not saying it's anyone's fault. I'm not saying that anyone kind of put this on me. I'm just saying that like this, my mind runs off this ideal that I just need to keep working hard. Right? That's what Joe taught me. He's like, you just have to keep working hard. And that's the mindset I have, to just keep going, keep sorry, just keep grinding, because and then like, fuck, dude. All right, so I didn't say this to anyone like on Friday, right? And even like on that day, one of my my best friend actually hit me up, and they're like trying to distract me, and they're like, hey, do you want to watch a movie, right? But she didn't ask in so many words. She was just like, hey, have you seen this movie? And I was like, it's been a while since I seen it. And they were like, oh well, we should catch up and watch this movie, right? But I didn't take it as like that was an invite right now to sit down and watch this movie to distract me. So I just took it as, oh, okay, well, we can watch it whenever you're ready to watch it or whatever. I didn't take it as let's watch it right now. And so even that day, like I told my wife, like, listen, I'm going out to this mass, and then we were meeting like some of the people that came were coworkers that we all worked together, right? And I went to the mass. It was like a half hour. It was a good mass to me. Like, one of the close family members gave a speech about Joe, right? And told little funny things and just how in depth he was. And I just sat there and I just started tearing up because I was like, I could probably talk for 3 more hours about this guy. I could sit here and just fucking let everything out. Like, I've only known him for like the last 6 years, and I could have just kept going. So like we left, and I got stuck in my head, right? And one of the things was, I know he told me to work my ass off. I know he told me like, sorry, just keep going until you can't, right? That was his motto. It's just like, you got to do what's best for the people around you if you want to make it, right? And in the back of my head, right, there's a voice that started to say, this is not what dead Joe would say to me. Dead Joe would say to me, spend more time with your family, spend more time with your loved ones, make more time for everybody that you want to make time for in your life, because you don't know what will happen, and you can't predict when it will happen, right? And the second I said that in my head about Dead Joe saying this to me, I started bawling my eyes out. I sat in my car and I cried for like a half hour, right? And now I'm running late. I'm not getting home on time, and my wife reaches out to me, and for the most part, I'm not gonna falter, right? But when I'm not in a good mood, a joke normally breaks me and makes me smile, makes me laugh, and stuff like that, right? But I don't know, man. This was a little bit different. Like Joe passing hit me a little bit different, and my wife. I'm not gonna say what she said, but it was a joke that she had said, and I was like, oof, that missed the mark. That was not an appropriate joke to make to check up on me, right? And I didn't mean anything from it. I didn't bust her balls or anything. I was just like I understand what you're trying to do, but just know that that hurt me, right? And then she was like kind of defending, like, well, this is why I said it. This is what I was doing. And I don't know. As of late, I haven't been in the right mindset, and I don't want to get too deep into it. Maybe when next episode, maybe I can rant about it a little bit more. But I feel like there's times where I'll say something and I want to defend myself in saying it, but then like I hit walls that say like, well, the opposite person will be like, well, this is not what I meant. This is not what I said. This was not the intention. And I'm like, okay, no, I get that that might not be your intention. The thing is, if the party received it a certain way, you can't just disregard that. Like it's a very beautiful and a very meaningful saying that I like, a comedian that I used to watch. I just don't watch much anymore, but he had said it in one of his shows, and he said, if someone tells you that you hurt them, you can't decide that you didn't, right? So what that is trying to say is like, if I say that like what you said hurts me, and you don't, not necessarily that you have to apologize, but if you come back and say, well, that wasn't my intention to do, and and you don't kind of like take accountability for it, like I feel like that hurts more. And I feel like a lot of that has been happening with the world around me, right? So I'm not faulting anyone. I'm not saying it's my wife, my friend, my best friend, or whatever it may be, right? Just everything started like hitting me, and I started becoming more and more quiet, right? And I think that's when like I have to sit alone and like appreciate life a little bit more. And that's why I wanted to bring this up all now, because a lot of my friends, when they saw how I was feeling, like even you, Rose, right? You manifest the good things in you, right? You manifest if you think positive. You manifest if you hold yourself to like a better standard. Instead of saying like, oh, I can't get a job, I can't do anything. No, I'll find a better job. Today will be a better day. Today I'm gonna do this. Today I'm gonna make somebody smile. Today I'm gonna do this, right? And that's the stuff that you manifest. And not that I don't think is untrue, right? But like, I don't know, man. Like I just kept like going back in my head. I was like, no matter what I do, no matter what kind of positivity I try to come up with, none of it hits back in it. Like the immediate voice in my head has said to me, whatever I do, Joe is not coming back. And it hits me hard as hell, but I can do stuff to represent his life. I told myself Fridays I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna drink and go drinking to the places he's gone. And not that drinking is the way to celebrate life or anything, but that was our like togetherness. Like we'd have a nice little glass of wine, we would BS about life, he would hear me rant. That was the biggest thing. He would hear me like rant and just like hear me out, and I lost that. And people are like, well, you can do it with me. And I'm like, I try, but it's not the same. Because like the stuff I just told you now, where I said I feel this way.
Like as I was saying, I had a friend.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, please.
Way. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you crazy.
Are
we good?
It's breaking up. Yeah, it's breaking up. Hold on.
Let me reboot myself.
Do that, or no? I was gonna say there's another link we could use. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at. Damn, I guess I'll wait for her to come back. But essentially what I was saying was that I had conversations with him that people feel like, oh yeah, I can have these conversations with you. But it's crazy to me that you know. Oh wait, I think she's back.
I think the Streamlabs don't like me.
Is Streamlabs breaking? Do you see multiple of me again?
No, it was just you frozen again, so I need to reboot. So, anyways, what I was saying is, I had a friend like that, and I mentioned him earlier in the episodes that it's just not the same. And I we always go out a couple times a week to make sure we on our goals and every January.
Yeah, you're lagging out hard. What was the name of that thing? You know what? I think it's on Facebook. Rose, if you can hear me, give me a second. What I'm gonna try to do. What I'm going to try to do. Sorry guys, give me 1 second. There's another app I use to do like the video recording. Um, it's Video Ninja. That's what it is. Add your camera to OBS. Use your audio stuff and send me. So I love Streamlabs because they're like, "Hey, your problem is solved." It is not solved, and it took them a week to get back to me. So I might actually drop this. But anyway, sorry, where was I? So the thing is, like, the way I bonded with Joe is like I would have these same level of conversations with people who say this is not my intention and you know, things like that. So when I talked to Joe about this, he just kind of never he always left me to be allowed in my feelings, you know. Hold on. Hey, you good?
Yes.
So I was gonna say, if you want, right, because we can put it as a live test, but I know it's gonna be annoying. On Facebook, I sent you the link to the Video Ninja thing that we used before. Just go into it, say add camera to OBS, and then send me the link, and let me see if I can add that
It
link.
didn't work last time, remember? I couldn't do it from my phone. I think it's
Alright.
only good from my laptop. But I think we're good now. So, continue.
Yeah, no, because I got to do like more testing with it, but that's fine. Yeah, if you're here and you're not seeing duplicates, if you're not seeing duplicates, it might be all right. Anyway, so no, what I was getting at
I
is
didn't
like,
see no duplicates.
that's good.
There's
Yeah,
no
yeah.
duplicates. It's just we freeze sometimes. We freeze. That's what's
Okay.
happening.
It might be like the camera position that you take, but yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, no. So I was just saying, like no, actually, what you were saying. So, you know, like I can't. I don't think there's gonna be a level where I can like replace Joe, right? There's no replacement of Joe, but I know people are willing to be like, hey, I can be this type of person for you. You can lean on my shoulder. You can talk to me, stuff like that, right? And I try. I really do try, but then like you know, the advice I get back is as per who you are, right? So if I talk to my wife about it, she'll be like, all right, well, I'll offer this. If I talk to another friend about it, they're like, oh, you know, there'll be maybe more empathy, right? They'll be more apologetic, and then just be like, hey, you know what, like, it's okay for you to be in your feelings and stuff. But like, you know, when I talked to Joe, it was like hitting the mark, because I think Joe can relate to me as a man too, right? So like, he worked his ass off for a good life, just like I try to work my ass off for a good life too. And then sometimes when I was telling Joe often that I feel like I'm not doing enough, right? This man would yell at me and saying, "You're doing more than anyone." He's saying, "I haven't seen someone driven like you." He's like, "You push yourself so hard, so why do you keep beating yourself up?" Whereas when I had the same conversations with like my wife or my best friend, it was more empathetic or more like, well, you know, you gotta, you know, like you could do whatever steps you need to get better, or things like that. And I don't know, man. It's like a different form of love. And like I said, sometimes I need it this way, sometimes I need that way, but there's no way that someone's gonna give it to me like Joe did, right? And I was just like really in my thoughts and just stuff like that. But trying to bring it back to like the subject I matter, like you like I just learned like you can't wait to live life, right? Like I learned more than anything. Like now's the time to kind of do stuff, right? Like, and I wanted to, right? But like with the whole not having money in my pocket, like, we know what I did. You know what I did? So I saved up enough money to get by a few months. I still have enough money to get by till like the end of August before it's like, all right, man, I got to go into panic mode, right? Um, I saved up enough money. You know what I did? I do things for other people to recuperate a way of making me happy, right? I do things for other people that makes me appreciate life, right? So I bought my wife a gaming laptop, right? And it was more so that like she can play games and then we can play games together. And I said, if we luck out, you'll make some friends and you'll play games, right? And she did. Oh man, it is Streamlabs. It has to be Streamlabs that is shopping. Shit. I'll see if she comes back. Anyway, like I was saying, so well, like she plays games with people and stuff like that. Shit. And I was like, you know what? All right, real quick. Did you see yourself drop? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay. So I think every time you're dropping,
I can
there's
hear
a
you.
delay. There's a delay between the us talking. So we'll have to figure that
Yes.
out.
So, okay. So what I was saying is that I can relate by losing someone is a very good friend because for me, my friend was one of my best friends that I could always talk to and being there, uh, moving each other. And these people are bringing the best out of us. That's what
Mhm.
Joe was doing to you. He was bringing. He was not empathizing what you're going through. He was bringing. Look at the good side. Look at what you're already doing, right? So, and um, of course, we can't. It's not to say we cannot bring these people back, but we can take the lessons they gave us with us, which is the most important part, right? I've learned so much. And one of the biggest things, of course, last episode we were talking about World Cup. I'm sure everybody watched the final.
Mm.
It was a beautiful final game. And I was rooting for Spain. I was rooting for Spain because my friend was a big Barcelona fan. He was always, we would always go watch Barcelona games, right? Oh, let's go see Barcelona game, right? Let's go watch it, right? So you always gonna treasure these moments with Joe, like I treasure my moments with my friend. And I was rooting for Spain to win. And when Spain won, I was like, my dear friend Ron, this is game for you. I hope you're looking from upstairs and here's the game. We should be watching it together, but I'm watching it for you.
Yeah.
Things like that. And of course, me having a great time, I started the cleaning. I fell beautifully on my knee. My
Mhm.
heel caught another heel and I couldn't move. I really, really felt it. So that's why we rescheduled it. Maybe it's a good thing that we rescheduled it yesterday for today because you needed the time to whip it out and release and feel the emotions that you're feeling, you know?
I Yeah.
And I was elevating. My leg couldn't walk for about 4 days, but which is fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, I'm
We're
glad,
look
like
at the
you
good
said,
side of
it's
it,
not
right? I
it's not
didn't break
worse.
it. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but at the same time, it's going to still take time to heal. But what I'm saying is that we take the best. Yes, it's hard in the beginning, especially when you're like, oh, I can't even call my friend now. Like for you, it's Friday. For me, it's a couple times a week, and January 1st, and end of the year, uh, looking at the goals we made, the goals we're going to set for the next year. Those things are not there. but it doesn't mean that I cannot do it. I still gonna do it like we did it in the memory of my friend and because it was a great thing to do. So you're just gonna take the best lessons and traditions and the culture you created with Joe and keep on moving that legacy that you created between each other. It was
Yeah.
bringing good things out of you. Like, look at what you already done. And all of the things that he taught you or you've learned from him or you guys created together, you can continue enjoying that with a smile on your face that it's great that you knew this person. That
Yeah.
angel entered your life in the right moment when you really needed it, like my friend did to me.
Mm. No, I agree. I think I never
And
like
that
got
is
to.
appreciation of the
I never.
time.
I never got to fully grieve, right? I mean, when I think about the people lost, I just start thinking about time itself, right? But no, I agree. Like he always, I do feel moments where I know exactly what he would say, right? But then on the flip side, like that day, and maybe it's because it's just clouded judgment, but like I asked myself a question, like what should I do here? And the only one person I wanted to ask, like for that answer, was him. And I think it just kind of hit me because I'm just like, it's in your head at that point. I can picture Joe and I sitting where we normally sit at the bar, where we normally go, and I would ask him, and I know the answer he would give, right? Right, like when if he was physically sitting next to me. But then if I sit in the same spot and it's not Joe, it's the spiritual Joe that's out here with me, I feel like he would have given a whole different response as to what had happened technically. And I was just so conflicted, and then I just didn't know what to do. And I just wanted time for myself, and I feel like I can't get it because I feel selfish at times when I want time for myself. And that's what I was saying before. So when I had a little bit of money, like the way I felt better about things was doing things for other people. So not only did I get Christine like stuff that she can find a different way to spend time with me, right? But then like she befriended some of my friends. So when they became friends, I was like, oh, I want to buy you guys games so then you all can play together, so you all can have a good time. And it made me feel better. I have a friend that's in Canada who like they travel when they work, like they take public transportation and they do their thing. And I'm like, here's like $15, right? Here's $15 and go get yourself like lunch, go get yourself like breakfast, dinner, whatever you want to get, right? So it's not $15 is not allowed for dinner anymore, let's face it. But like, it's the principle. Like, here's a little bit of money for you. My friend who's like a nurse, I'm like, here's $10, get yourself a coffee and a donut. I have a friend that's out in my best friend in Cali. I'm sentimental. I'll be like, here's some flowers and chocolate. Because I know they love flowers and I know they love chocolate. Here's this. So I'll do different things like this to make them happy, right? And they're like, Sanjay, you don't have a job, you don't have money. Like, why are you doing this? Because I'm like, this is the only thing that's keeping me going right now. Being able to be a service to others is what's keeping me going right now. I didn't have a lot of money. Yeah, I took my wife and my kid out. Like, I know I can like cook at home. Like one of my friends was yelling at me because they're like, "Why are you spending money like that when you can just spend the same amount of money, bring food home and cook, right?" But for me, it's like the experience about going out. I like seeing certain people when I go out. They're working, they're bartenders, they're servers, whatever. And I took my wife out to eat. I took my kid out to eat, and like I know I was spending money that I probably should have been saving, but at the same time it's like, this is what gives me comfort, so let me do this for you, right? Even now, coming down to the wire, like with money, up until like unemployment started kicking in, I was just like, I'll figure something out because I'm gonna have to. Like that was the attitude I got from Joe, which
Yeah,
will stick with me forever, right? Like
it's your energy, right?
he, no matter what the situation was in life, he was like, it doesn't matter what's gonna happen, I'm gonna figure it out because I just have to figure it out. There's no, in his head, there's no giving up. There's no, I'm gonna sit here and sulk and be sad and just let life take me over. No, that man every day did his thing. That man every day was driven. He said, hey man, like, I'm not too happy with my job, but I'm gonna go in and do it. Not I'm gonna go do it in half-assed or anything like that. I got work to do, I'll get it done, and then I'll work hard, play hard, right? And that was his attitude about a lot of it. And he's like, sometimes, man, you gotta, like, one of the best advice that he gave me was like, I was stressed about one of the jobs I had, right? I was making good money from it. And he's like, hey man, like, just know that that's not going to be your forever job. He would say to me all the time, man, I did this shit for 20 years. So who are you complaining to, right? And I would laugh about it because I'd just be like, all right, yeah, you're right. You got that on me. You got that experience on me, right? And then there's people like, I talked to my wife and I talked to like my best friend, and they both were like, well, don't take a job if you're not going to be happy, right? And there's a level of I can accept that, but there's a bigger level where I can't, because I have to support the family. I have to bring food on the table. I have to put clothes on our back. Like, a lot of people don't see the other side of the world that I need to participate in, right? So yeah, there's some jobs that make me upset. There's some jobs that I feel like I work my ass off and I get treated like shit, right? But Joe was like, listen, life isn't all about that. Sometimes you have to go through the trudges. Sometimes you have to go through the pits. Sometimes you have to put on a mean smile. You gotta put on a tough face and just knock it out. While these other people were showing me empathy and saying, oh, if you're not too happy, don't worry about it. Something else will come along. Something better will come along, right? But listen, Joe thought he was going to retire and live his life, like, and just chill. Where's Joe now? 6 feet under. And that shit hurts to think about. But Joe was the only one that would have given me that answer. Dude, you got a family. You got shit to do. You got shit to do. And that shit would get me to lock in. That shit would tell me to, like, hey man, fuck it. You need to do what you need to do. Right? And honestly, now that I think about it, saying it out loud, this is exactly what he'd say to that question. Your screen is frozen, yes. Do me a favor. Is there a possibility? Wait, can you hear me? Yeah, you can hear me. I was gonna tell you to. Fuck. All right. Well, wait till he gets back there. Anyway, the more I think about it now, right? And I don't mean to get emotional about it, but he would have said exactly that to my situation. To the question that I had in my head on Friday, because Thursday I did my interview for a job that I'm hoping I'm getting, right? Like, I just needed it to nail the mark that I was hoping it would nail, and it did. So I'm hoping I get it, but if not, at least I have like a backup, right? But that's the type of stuff Joe would have told me. Joe would have said, buck up, like, stop being, to put it lightly, and this is the way we talk to each other, he'd say, stop being a bitch, man. Just, you got stuff to do, and that's not to be derogatory. He just knew sometimes I needed a tough love or a hard pat on the back. But he was gentle when he needed to be gentle, and then he was tough when he needed to be tough. So when I think about it, I think I got the answer I wanted. But man, this fucking meant a lot to me. Yo, so wait, can you hear me? Fuck, are you frozen again?
No.
So on my screen, you're kind of like glitchy-ish, like your video is kind of bad. But I felt like I do hear you. Is there a possibility you can move to another location just temporarily? Because I want to see if this continues to happen. I hope you even heard that part. And now your screen is black. I can't even sit back in my chair because my cat's sitting right behind me, and she gets mad if I don't leave her room. So that's that. But anyway. Like Joe would have told me to fuck up. Like I think I got the answer that I needed. So I think she's back. Did you hear me? Always around this mark. Actually, I take it back. It's always around the 45-minute mark that like things just start going AWOL. I don't understand. Oh, did your phone's not too? Can you hear me? I can't hear you. If you can hear, I don't know. If you can hear me, see, now that I feel like the video is working, I'm gonna kick. If you have headphones on, I'm gonna kick you out one more time, and then just rejoin. I'm gonna kick you out one time. I think you're typing in the chat. We need to get you a computer, which I think I'm gonna do now. And for now, if it makes it easier, if you want to, I think your screen is frozen. You can type in chat, and I can just read what you said. I mean, it shows up on the screen, but focus on new friendship, but carrying the legacy of dear people that we lost. No, I agree. I agree. I think for me, I mean, I knew Joe the way I knew Joe, and no one can replace that. No one can turn that over. No one can give me advice for that either, right? I just have to remember who Joe was to me, and I think I see it in clarity now, so I feel a little bit better about that. Rose, if you're watching, I was going to say, try moving to another location and then try joining again. But this is exactly what was happening with our Streamlabs before. So sorry, I don't mean to be yawning, but hopefully we can figure out what's happening there. Like I feel like there's some weeks that we have good. Anyway, this whole podcast today was, I know, it was about appreciating life, and for me, being able to talk about Joe so openly now, so bluntly, so like I feel like I'm talking to myself, which is nice, right? Not saying Rose is not here, not talking to me in that sense, right? But I feel better being able to talk about it now, because now I feel a load off my shoulders. So, Rose, I appreciate the help in finding clarity in that. I created a new friendship and decided to just go and cook B-Day brunch for my friend. Creating the small things create strong emotions and mental health. New bonds, new happy moments. This is my way. Serving. Giving, serving. Yeah. No, I mean, we all have different ways that we want to help and serve. Wait, okay, I hear Mike now. Do you hear me?
You think it's me?
So I was curious, can you move to can you move to another location?
No.
That you can't? Alright.
Not today.
It's okay. We'll it could, the thing is, it could very much still be you. And it's hard to test things, but it's fine. Like right now, there's a slight delay between what I'm saying and what you're hearing, but I think it's enough to get by. I just read your comment now. I agree with you that I have been building, like the way I build bonds all together is different. Like the way I hang out with one of my people is different than how I hang out with another person, right? And I'm not going to compare the two. I don't compare any of my friends together. I don't compare this person to this person. I don't compare when situations are the same, right? So if somebody makes me upset because they say one thing and the other person says the same exact thing and makes me upset, I don't go, you both said the same thing, you both made me upset. I say, you said one thing, you made me upset, and I go to the other person, you said one thing and you made me upset. I don't go, oh, you said what my friend said and now I'm upset. I don't do any of that, because I feel like everyone is their own individual. Right? There may be similarities, there may be some things that people have in common, but it doesn't make that person that other person. And I think in a sense people were trying to become that shoulder that Joe was, and I'm like, don't do that. Just be you, right? Just be the person that you are, the person that you've always
Yeah.
been, and just give me that, and I think I should be okay, right? But I think there are times where I need that space alone, right? And I need that space alone, and unfortunately I won't have that space alone if I'm in a space with other people, right? So what I mean by that is, if I'm online or on my phone, right? Like my friend actually messaged me the other day, and she's like, I saw you offline, so I didn't want to bother you. And at the same time, I'm like, I hope it didn't come off rude that I showed offline. And at the same time, I didn't know if I wanted to be bothered or not, but I kind of needed my own space, And when I thought about it, I was like, you know what? Maybe I could have used company, but I don't want it to feel like a guilt trip. Like, hey, I tried to be there for you and you didn't want it. Like, nah, I'm trying to
Yeah.
figure this stuff out on my own as well. So give me that little bit of time, right? But and at home, as much as like I want to have time for myself, we live in a singular space where I share space with my wife and my daughter, right? So like when I'm in that space, I'm not alone. I'm with people. And then I feel bad if I want to go out and just kind of like get a coffee and sit alone, right?
Yes.
So I agree with you that like for now, especially fishing life, I mean with Joe passing, there was a for the longest time, especially before the mask, it was more like I wanted to do stuff, which led to me visiting one of my coworkers that lives in North Carolina, right? So I'm still planning that. That's still on the books. Me going to Japan in November, right? That was always a childhood dream that I always wanted to do. And I always dreamed about going with my friends, particularly one of my best friends who's like a brother to me, right? And we're gonna go, and I'm like, dude, like let's make this happen. And even despite the fact that I lost my job, they're like, listen, you booked the ticket, you booked the Airbnb, you're definitely going. If you need money while we're out there, we got you covered, but we're definitely gonna go, right? And even us doing this podcast, even me doing my other video, I want to do some more filming. Everything I want to do is starting to come together, but I was beating myself up by not doing it at the rate or speed I want to do it at. But like this part, I'll say a lot of people at least told me that at least you're doing stuff, right? A lot of
Yes.
people are saying at least
Small
you're
steps.
taking, yeah, even small steps, at least you're taking the steps. Because for some people, the steps are like hard to do. And I don't want to sound rude, but a lot of like what I had with Joe is sealed off to others. What I mean by that is like the conversations I had with him, the conversations that I um like bonded with him over, I'm I don't even want to try to have those conversations with anybody else. And this may come off rude. This may come off
No, no, no. It's
selfish.
you created a different relationship with Joe, like I did with Ron. And the conversation that I had with Ron, my friend, I will never have them with nobody else.
Yeah.
I will never be able to talk about goals freely with somebody, about my goals and the person goal. We were talking freely because there was space, judge-free space zone when
Yeah.
nobody's judging me, nobody's putting their opinions, everyone's just saying, "Hey, you can do this." This is what I had. When somebody wholeheartedly was like, "You can do this," bring out the good out of you, right? You can't really, you find it. Yes, you can find it, but it's not going to be the same. The person actually remembering your goals and then constantly coming back to it and like, listen, are you on it? What are you doing? What's your next step? What's next, right? So, and the same thing with you, like the conversations you had, you just have to be grateful that you had someone, right? Like
Oh
I am,
no.
I know you are,
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
you had that person.
Yeah.
And now you just kind of like put it like what I would do, right? Now you don't have to do anything, but you could maybe like put it in the air and just here. I had it. Now let it be on the air. But now let me create what I have. Let me
Yeah.
accept what I have.
Yeah.
Can I create something more meaningful? It don't have to be the same, but can I create something meaningful on top of this? Because creating more meaningful. Like me, Like it's a new friend. I working in the casino when the Gordon Ramsay we worked together, and we just became friends last year. And I was not open to create friendships for a while. I said, let me create new friendships. Like, Sanjay's going out and creating his friendships. I kind of like that, you know? Let me just create new friendships. And I created this bond with this lady. And I said, you know what? It was her birthday. Let me do something nice. I always send out cards, me, and stamping it and making it nice. I said, let me do something. I said, I don't want to go out anywhere. I don't want to do anything, right? I'm like you, jobless right now. So I said, what can I do that I can make the experience, right? A new experience on top of what I had. So I said, let me make my famous waffles. So I came with everything, with my own kitchen, had everything, like a waffle maker and a mixer and a measuring cup and an apron, everything.
Yeah,
That's insane. My cups and I forgot my Turkish teapot that I was going to bring too, but it's okay. We figured it out. So we put it all together and I made it. She's like, wow. It's, I love doing that. It was nothing, but it was everything at the same time. Just
I get
creating
that.
someone something, right? And you
Yeah, yeah,
understand me because you're the same way. You love giving and serving. And I lost my friend and losing my godfather. I lost two people that year, and it was the most major people that it was in my life
yeah.
that I can lean on to. Losing my friend Larry, right? A couple of weeks ago. The person was so supportive and believed in me so much. Like, you have so many talents, you can do so much. Just go do it, right? Like, do it. And somebody was pushing me, like, in a good way. Not like I need to be pushed, but still, we need sometimes pushing
Yeah,
moment, like people to push us.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I can't, I can't. Like, I don't have that. But can I create something meaningful on top of what I already have? Instead of constantly me sitting there, oh, I miss you, my friend Ron. Oh, I wish I can have talked to you about my goals again. Yes, I remember that, and I can talk to myself about it. But can I create something else? Like, can I change my reality? Can I shift myself? It's my life. Now, what can I do? I can still bring out my excellence, making someone breakfast, serving it right, like I did for my mom's 1 year passing. I took my whole entire house, my china, my napkins, everything, tablecloth, went to the Airbnb house where I served, and then I just made her favorite dishes, created a beautiful table. Here, come sit. Did people appreciate it? I don't know. Because they're not from my culture. Maybe they do it things differently. But I didn't care much if they
Because
appreciated
you,
it.
yeah,
Not
yeah, you did it
everybody
for
has to
you. Yeah,
appreciate.
yeah.
But I did it for my mom. And I said, wow, mom, I can still do it. I can still bring out my excellence.
Mm.
It don't matter if people appreciate it. The right people will always appreciate what you do.
No, you're right.
So my
Yeah,
friend was so happy. I gave her this vintage card. And it's just like wow moment, right? And can we create something by creating these little communities with the small bonds that we have? Like even knocking on your neighbor's door here, I made beautiful pignoli. Oh, you gotta try this. I made this beautiful pignoli traditional Italian cookies last weekend, right? And it came out so good. Just have a little on your plate. Give it to your neighbor. Say here, I made something nice. We used to do that, right? We used to do that. I
yeah,
grew up, I'm sure you grew up where you grew up, but we used to do that. Oh, hey, my sugar is finished. Can I have some sugar? I'll give it to you back tomorrow, right? Can
yeah.
we just recreate those moments with people that we love? Can we like Morgan there, right? There's Christine's there, right? Your best friend is there. Can you take something that you already created with them and make it more meaningful with another twist that
Yeah,
you can carry on? Because it's not only important for us, it's important for them too.
yeah, yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
they're trying to help us. They're trying to comfort us. And by us not seeing that or not feeling the way they want us to feel, it's like defending them. Like, oh, they trying. Oh, how many times they're gonna try? They're gonna stop trying, and then we lose the connection. And that is why I, that's what I started doing when I lost my friend. Because obviously it's been 3 years now, four actually. Wow, time goes. However, first year I couldn't. I'm like, I have nobody. I had nobody.
Yeah.
I couldn't call nobody. I couldn't go. He taught me so many happy. I can tell you every happy hour in New Jersey because every day was something. On Thursdays it was $1 oysters. On Sundays it was $2 mimosas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or it would be we'll go to hooligans and there's a happy hour when it's like so many places and so many new things I've seen, I've learned, and I was like, wow, right? But life goes. It was still here. We have let's not wait till the retirement happens, till we have enough money. Let's just start doing something small that we can do now. Because on that energy, on that high vibration, everything else follows. Boom, another opportunity comes. Somebody calls you, say, hey, I need somebody like you in my company. They're going
Yeah.
to call you
Yeah.
because you create that. You do small things, the things that you love and the other people love around you, and you create more of it and more of it and more of it. Because I said, if I'm gonna keep thinking about my friends that passed, I'm gonna miss out on everything else that I have. I'm gonna miss out on the friends that I do have, that I started creating, right?
Yeah. No, you're right.
Boom. And it's just like, it's the way I feel. It's the way I said, if I can shift the way I think about things, and shift about I see things, and keep changing and shifting my reality. Because we can take ourselves from our reality and put it in a different reality and create new things. And that's what the beautiful thing that we have and we can do. Like, of course, we want to be
Oh. I'm.
to bring.
And damn. No, I'm trying to pinpoint because it could actually be me too with this app, but I don't know. It's so weird how this works and then it doesn't work. I guess the only way I can really test it is if I see the animation stop or something like that. Oh, you're back. All right, got you. Your message was so powerful that it crashed.
Yes, so I'm glad I was able to at least share some of the my story that I
No,
can relate,
it's
appreciating the time with
it
people.
it's very beautifully put, and I agree with you 100% because I I had people tell me in my life that like God, like, oh, Sanjay, you seem like such a busy person. You seem like you're always doing something, and or you're always hanging out with someone and stuff like that. And in reality, I'm really not. Like, I don't really. I have some plans that are set out to do things with friends, but like I don't have a lot of people in my life. I talk to like the same 3 or 4 people every day in my life, and that's it, right? And like, I know a lot of people and a lot of people know me. Okay, cool, that's fantastic. But like, on a daily basis, I talk to like the same 3 4 people, and I try to make as much time as I humanly can for them. And it's tricky because like sometimes i just I think there's a level of interpretation that happens, that when someone says something, we think we know exactly what they're saying, right? But I have countlessly had to say like, listen, you got to take me with like a grain of salt, right? Because I was like, I don't want to sound rude to myself, but I am a complete moron, right? So if you don't say something direct to me, I won't understand it. So I was talking to one of my I was talking to my best friend yesterday, and like I said, on a Friday. It was like Friday. It was Thursday. It was Friday, right? Because it was that was the day I went to the mass, and they were like, "Hey, have you seen this movie?" And I was like, "No, I haven't. I haven't seen this movie, or I haven't seen it in a while." They're like, "Oh, yeah, we should. Damn it, we should definitely watch it." And I was like, oh, "Okay, cool." I didn't take it as like we should watch it now, and that's on me. I'm not blaming them for anything. That's on me for maybe not understanding that you meant, hey, we should watch this movie now so you can be distracted, or if this was like, hey, we could watch this movie eventually. Welcome back. Do I have you? You know what's crazy,
Yeah,
Rose?
you just keep talking. I'm gonna be in and out. Don't worry about it.
The thing is, like, your stuff started crapping out every time at the same time it happened before. Like 45 minutes in, it just starts going AWOL, and I don't know why. So I'll reach out to them and let them know it's not solved, but I'm gonna look for other sources to try to do our podcast. But anyway, um, yeah, like, I mean, I agree with you that I what I've started to do is create new bonds, right? So not necessarily new friendships, just different things I do with the people I love, whether it's watching a movie, playing a game, hanging out in a group to do this, things of that
Reading
nature.
films and
Yeah,
books
yeah.
and whatever podcasts,
So we're trying to
playing
like work,
video.
we're trying to work on that more, and more so than not, I'm trying to be more open about my feelings, and I'm actually trying to be more open about my feelings when they're, especially when they're hurt, right? If somebody says something that, like I said, I know the intention might not be to make it feel this way, but I've been very vocal about, like, your intention may not be there to do this, but this is how I feel about it, right? And I'm,
Yeah,
I'm not saying, hey, I'm blaming you, hey, this friendship is now slop. No, I'm not saying I'm done with this friendship. I'm just saying, like, this is how I feel, and let's try not to do this again, or maybe we could talk about it or whatever. So I've been doing it with everybody, right? And it sometimes hits the mark, sometimes it doesn't. But my thing is this, and this is a very important lesson when it comes to living your life, right? A lot of people hit points where they have a fight or they have an argument, right? And they're like, you know what? This ain't worth it. I'm walking away. And then they walk away with like regret. They walk away with this level of like, I wish I didn't say this. I wish I didn't say that, right? So, even with my best friend, even with like my wife, even with like my other friends, right? When I tell
yeah,
them I feel a certain way, when I tell them like, hey, I got hurt from this, right? Absolutely, by all means, I could just cut off the friendship and walk away, right? But the thing is, I have built such a strong bond with you. I have built such a strong friendship. There's a level of care I have for you. There's a place in my heart that you are now sitting in, that despite
oh,
whatever bad stuff that might have happened, isn't gonna dictate the end of our friendship. You know, I said we'll talk about it. We don't have to agree on everything. There's some stuff we don't agree on, and that's 100% valid. That's fine, right? But I'm sure we can talk about it and get through it. Whatever that means. Whether we're like, you know what, I
yeah.
feel this way about it, you feel this way about it, and that's how it's gonna go. No problem, and so be it. And that's it's funny how that disconnected. But you know, I was like, I'm willing to talk about it because I don't want to lose what I have here. Because I feel like if I do lose what I have here, then I'm gonna regret this even more, and it's gonna hit me later, and it's gonna change me and make me not so happy, I guess is the word I'm looking for, or maybe at peace. But you know, it was important for me to, like, if I have conflict, I want to resolve the conflict. And I think the other day when I was talking to someone and we had a conflict, you know, somewhere in there. Say something? No. When we had a conflict in our day, it was very hard conversations. It was very sharp conversations. But that person said, we could just walk away. Like, we could just walk away. We don't have to be friends anymore. But they said, I want to resolve this. I don't want this to happen anymore. What can we do to make this better? And I was like, God damn, those are the words I want to hear when we have an argument. What can we do to fix this? What can we do to feel better? What can we do to heal? You know? And when my friend had said that to me, I was like, I was just blown away. I was just like, that's exactly what I want to hear. I want to hear that despite a hardship that we're having right now, this is not going to disregard us as friends. This is not going to, and I think I needed to hear that more than anything. And it was such a comforting moment that my friend and I got through it, and now we're like, good, if not good, better. So, Rose, to your point, and not to overextend conversations, it's important that, like, there's a few ways to appreciate life, and although we lost the ones that we love, right, they might not be here for us with us physically, but there's a version of them that lives on for us forever, and we represent that with who we are, right? And I feel comforted knowing, Rose, that what you had said, that it's okay to not have that person replaced. It's okay to just have that person to yourself. It's okay for you to just have that person as your own, right? Christine doesn't need to know what Joe represented, right? My best friend doesn't need to know what Joe represented. Like, they could know that Joe was like a good guy and he was there for me. And I'm very sad that I lost him. But they also can, and I hope understand, and if they're watching or whatever, right, that it's it's not about like I want you guys to replace him. You guys are your own individuals, and I love you guys for who you are. And I'm sorry if I've been kind of like sharp or cold or anything like that, but I'm still processing my own feelings. And as much as I know everyone wants to be there for me, and I know you'll be there, if I'm ever in a dark place, I know I
And
can.
you're not cold. You're just
From.
sharing how you feel, and it's perfectly fine. That's what I started doing today. I started writing stories. I want to make a one-page story every day in the morning. How do I feel? Any story. I could suggest this to anybody. Just writing a story. Just write a story about Joe. Story. That you can
It,
keep it to yourself.
we all have our ways of handling
Yes, of
our friends.
course.
So
Yes,
my thing would probably be I'm gonna hold up his tradition and go bar hopping like I did with him,
of
and
course.
just have a
Of
nice
course.
glass of wine and stuff like that. But yeah, I know what you mean.
I
Just do
am
something that further.
represents your friend. But however,
Exactly.
yes, what I started doing for myself, I want to write an everyday one-page story. Could be for
Yeah.
about anything. Whatever's in my mind. Why not? Whatever's in my mind.
Yeah.
Just to don't go crazy. Because right now, I was supposed to be starting a new job, and they told me, I'm sorry, we cannot give you the position that you're looking for, but we can give you a different position.
Mm.
And now I'm in the middle of thinking, do I really want to get a different position? But at the same time, I know it would be more um, funds for me, right? I could
Yeah.
get to my goals. But do I really want that position? You know what I mean? So I said, let me write a story about it. What's more important? And now you talking about Joe telling you, hey, just suck it up and throw it until you get it done, right? Work hard. Like work hard. He was doing that for 20 years, like with that toughness. I said,
Yeah.
maybe that's what I needed to hear today. Maybe we
Yeah.
all need Joey in our lives. Saying, hey, listen, like my friend Ron, he was changing words like this. He didn't care about the work. He cared about the that he's getting paid 80,000 an hour and he's
Mm.
gonna buy another house because he has a daughter to feed,
Yeah.
you know?
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
he passed away 1 year before he was going to celebrate his birthday, sweet 15, like in Spanish they celebrate quinceañera.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
saving for it. He was going like, oh, I want to do this, want to do that, and boom, right? Right before Joey was going to retire and live the beautiful life, right? Leave
Yeah.
now, leave now, and now, okay, I'm gonna just take that position probably and just suck it up for a couple of seasons
Yeah. So yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's not an end goal. It's not a forever job, right? It's just a job right now that is gonna get me my dream job for
Yeah.
my dream things. So, and you know what? I said, I'm just going to write it in here for myself. Just, hey, how do you really feel? What are you really doing? Are you really doing what you're really doing? Are you just wasting time? Life is, it's not short, it's not long, it's just life. And are
It's
you
just
really
life. Yeah.
wasting it? Are you fulfilling it every second with the beautiful things? There's
All right.
so many beautiful things around, but we're so stuck in our thoughts and our mindset and our emotions
All right.
sometimes, right? I'm not
Mm.
talking about you. We all do sometimes get you stuck. Boom. If you get stuck, get unstuck right away. Hey, let me change my reality. What can I do? Let me change the way I feel. Because if I keep feeling this way, it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
Can we make it better? Can we make it better? Can we start
Um.
feeling better? Let's go. Feel better.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah,
you
no, I agree.
until I get frozen.
No, no, you're good. And I was gonna say, actually, I don't know why, but your mic is progressively getting worse and worse, and it sounds more and more staticky. I mean, we got the most of the message, so you're good. But towards the
Okay,
end
good.
there, it was just like it's like talking to someone in a really long hall and you're yelling to them, and like you just kind of feel like you
Like a
hear
lean
noise.
line.
Yeah, it's okay. It happens. But yeah, we'll close up shop in a little bit here. But absolutely, I think it's important that we we as not just individuals remember the lessons we learned from the people that we bonded with in life, right? Um,
Yes.
and I love how you said that last, right? Life is just life. We don't know how short it is. You don't know how long it is, right? And I've seen plenty of stuff like that, like on Instagram, where it was like, the person who's waiting to do something tomorrow didn't realize today was their last day, and then like things along the lines of that. And it's crazy how much time we sometimes think we have when we don't. And like, yeah, we see stories, yeah, we see reels, yeah, we read stuff, right? Or we might know someone who knows someone, right? But until it happens to like you or someone personal to you, like it happened to Joe, to me, is when it like almost awakens you and you're like, holy crap, right? And I think definitely I took away the good stuff from him and I missed the hell out of him. But you're absolutely right in when you say, you know there's a time to grieve, right? But then there's a time to just remember, and then there's a time to appreciate life because of your encounter with this person, or whatever. And for me, it was like I didn't grieve because I was so lost. Then I was able to grieve, right? And now it's an inspiration, right? Now it's motivation for me, for what Joe represented, for what Joe had said. And I think there was a level of like that day when I was like, I had a question I wanted to ask, and the only person I felt that can answer that question is Joe. But now talking on this podcast today, I know exactly what he would say, and I think that's the motivation I needed to hear. And now I feel a billion times better, right? And I appreciate you and people listening, or even myself. I appreciate this is one thing that he taught me more than anything, is appreciate myself. He was like, hey, like, stop saying how much you haven't done, look at how much you have done, right? But then he always told me, like, you have a long way to go, you have so much more to do, right? And I always told myself that. And people would take their days day at a time, and of course that's important. But my thing was like, I wasn't taking my day a day at a time. I was always too busy living in the future. Am I going to have enough for my kid to go to school? My kid needs uniforms. Can I have enough for that? Oh my God, like my kid wants McDonald's. Can I afford this? And can I do that? And like, as much as people are like, people don't know your life, right? So as much as a lot of my friends, and they meant well by it, the intention was always good. They said, take some time for yourself. Don't work. If you can get unemployment, like, go for it and things like that. And I'm like, I don't want to ride on unemployment like that. I'm going to apply to jobs that I want, but at least unemployment will help me get by. So I agree with you, right? But the thing is, I don't want to sit here and like not do anything either. I've always been a driven person. I remember when COVID had happened and I wasn't working for 2 months before I lost my mind. There was a check coming in every week, every 2 weeks, something like that.
Yeah.
There was money coming in, so I didn't need money, right? But I was losing my mind staying at home. So I just always had that like grinding kind of like attitude. And the times where I faltered with that attitude, Joe was there to pick me up and say, come on, man, just suck it up. It's not going to be like this forever. Just suck it up. You can do this, right? And I know now what he would say in these questions I have in my head. I know he would I know exactly what he'd say. I mean, I'm not necessarily going to share it per se because it's my own, right? But like I know better now. Like, Joe is in me, and I feel it now. I feel that. And I appreciate being able to open up about this and talk about it. And I'm not faulting anyone for anyone. I know I told a lot of stories of like the people close in my life, like my best friend and my wife and things like that. I'm not saying anything negative to them per se. But the thing is, like, I know I haven't been like the same type of person, and I'm trying, and I know you guys are being there. But one last thing I wanted to say to it was, I think Joe was one of my strongest advocates when I told him I felt weak. when I felt like not strong, he knew the moments when to say be strong, and he knew the moments to say it's okay to feel weak. Because like he knew me well, he knew me very well. You know,
He was
he
protecting you.
in a level of intimacy, not intimacy, but I guess so, right? But in a different level, he knew me better than anybody. He knew me better than friends I've been friends with 20, 30 years. You know, so like when he gave me some responses, they came back a different way that no one would ever understand. So that's the stuff that builds my foundation to help me build new, stronger bonds with the people that I want to build new, stronger bonds with, right? I don't necessarily need to make new friends to replace Joe or anything like that, right? But I just have to look back to know that these people that exist in my life
You can
are
carry
doing
on
their,
now. You can
yeah, they're
connect
doing
much
their
easier.
piece to hold me together. Absolutely, I agree. So I thank everyone for that. I really do, and I thank you, Rose, to help the clarity with my my feelings with Joe. And yeah, it's important for us to remember to appreciate time, to appreciate life. I think we can continue the conversation about appreciating life into our next podcast, because I think this
Yeah,
one just kind
well,
of,
yes, absolutely. And one of the things that I want to say, I love this quote. Now we're quoting. Accepting death and knowing it's there, we can start living, right?
yes.
That's one of my beautiful quotes that I read and I really love because as soon as we accept the death and we know it's coming, not to say today, tomorrow, but it is there, you can start living like it's your last day, right? And I
Oh
love that
man.
because it woke me up. I read this, it woke me up when my mom was in a very difficult stage when I knew it might be a possibility that she's going. So it woke me up and said, every second is gold. And what are you doing with it? It's your choice.
Yeah, it's a good way to put that, and it actually reminds me of a beautiful quote that I think I tried to say, but I couldn't exactly remember the words, right? But it's such a beautiful quote because it makes you appreciate everything, right? So the
Yes,
quote is, hug me as if I were to die tomorrow, and hug me tomorrow as if I were back from the dead.
yes, I've read that.
I absolutely love that quote, right? So I like the time that I spend with my friends. Oh my god, I show an unbelievable amount of like gratefulness. I'm like, you came out like last night. I went out for Korean barbecue with my friends, and to them it was like, hey, we're just getting together and just having lunch. But to me, it was like I'm hanging out with people that like are incredibly important in my life, and I'm able, like, I don't get to hang out with them as much, so
Yes.
it's nice to be able to catch up and do this and do that. And it's crazy how
Mm-hmm.
much it made me start to think about a lot of people that I wasn't able to spend time with. And like, I think about them, I wish them well, I hope everything is good. And this level of softness, I think at times I felt burnt by it, because I think I also said a quote where like I've become such a soft person that even the people that hurt me, I can't think ill of them. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like they like I used to think that was a weakness, that was a vulnerability of me. But now I know it's strength. Now I know it's power to me. Now I know it's something that makes me face the sun, put my head up to the sky and say, I got this, right? So I think this podcast hit the mark for me today, and um thank you. Thank you for that.
Therapy is
So
good. I read you a check. Just kidding.
hey, no, go ahead and charge me. That'll be $3,000. No, no.
No,
The one thing I did want to mention, I said
charging
this
with
right before, but
that.
I um I meant to say it earlier about the podcast. We have a few interests for some guests I want to be on. I don't know when one of the people are gonna be on. Oh, actually, sorry. Yeah, I don't know about one person because I think we're still talking about it. But the other person has asked for the last weekend in August to talk, and I was able to connect with
Last weekend
them.
of August. That's my birthday.
Yeah, yeah. Your birthday is actually on Sunday, and we're gonna do the podcast Saturday. So
Okay.
It's gonna be that day. Unless you want to do the podcast Sunday on your birthday, then we can set that up too. But I figure you probably want to do stuff. Um, but I have a guest then, and then I have another guest who we haven't figured out the time yet, but they have reached out. So we'll have some more guests. So that'll be fun.
Okay.
And like I said, I think if you're comfortable with it, we can continue talking about the appreciating of time in life in our next podcast. Only
The
because
building of strong
the
bond.
yeah, and only mainly because today was a lot of healing for me, and like I said, not frowning upon that, but I appreciate being able to handle that and do that. So
Needed
it was a
that.
good talk. It was a good
Really,
talk. And again,
really.
appreciate all you guys that came by, even if it was a few seconds. If you guys watch it afterward, if you guys hear it on Spotify, we appreciate you guys taking the time to check us out and tell other people. I've had some major compliments telling people like, wow, you're on like episode, you're in your 90s in your episodes. That's crazy. I'm like, you know what? We're about to hit our 2 year
Never
mark
miss the
come in
show.
October. Like it's crazy. It's so we
One
appreciate
thing
you
I'm proud
guys.
of us, we never miss a show.
Yeah, we always find one way or another to do it. So we appreciate the
Yeah,
consistency of
I'm the
our
one.
people.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah, right.
which is which is great. I definitely love every single person that's listening us on Spotify, investing time on your free time and rewatching the episodes. Great episodes with a great guest. We have just one-on-one conversations. This is a raw podcast where you can find everything that's going on in life without sugarcoating, being real, and motivational, inspirational, and how we go through certain things of our lives and how we come out of that part and how we heal, how we learn and create new things. And this is so amazing. And you could definitely come be a guest, share your mission, your passion. What do you do? Share your story because the world needs to hear your story. We need to hear your story. How you battling everyday joy, how you creating new beautiful things and just creating these beautiful bonds with your community, with your loved ones, friends, and family. And of course, thank you so much for liking, commenting, and sharing our episodes. And hit that bell notification number, a bell notification so you can always see when we are, get your notification on your phone. We here every Saturday, 11 a.m. Of course, there's times we here on Sunday, and Sunday is a fun day or potato day or it's a family day in my side.
Yeah, no, for sure. Oh, and hey, revisiting history.
And
Thanks
we'll
for coming
close.
through. I was gonna say, we actually ended up filming on a Sunday today just because of the timing. But Rose revisiting history is one of the people who are interested in being in the podcast. So hopefully, we'll get that going, and we can connect in a little bit if anything, if you want to chat. But again, just like Rose said, whether it's Saturday or Sunday, we definitely make the time to come out and talk to you guys, and we appreciate your participation, or honestly, we just appreciate you being here. So we'll see you guys definitely next week, where we'll continue hopefully
Yes.
on Saturday unless something changes. But again, thanks for being here. Have a motivated day, and we'll see you soon. So take care.
Bye bye.